We're live! Okay. I used to know how to do this. I still don't know how to add the name of what we're discussing on here, but we're going to find Jane. Let's start with that. Whoop. Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to this ridiculously hot.
Everywhere, is it?
It is hot here. Okay, let's see. Did that work?
Yeah, it looked like
no,
it.
it didn't. Did I accidentally cancel it? Here we go. Let's try.
Oh, it's it. Oh,
Hi!
yay! Hi! How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. I used to know how to name this, but I don't know how to do that anymore. Like it used to be that you could tell people what the name of the thing is that you were discussing. Yes, that's what we're discussing, like in the top. And there used to be a thing so that if they saw the live, it would say what we were discussing. I don't know how to do that.
Oh, I know. Can we talk about how, well, we always do this. I'm Jackie.
Hi, Jackie.
And I'm Kirsten.
This is Kirsten. We always get
And
started.
this is Jane.
This is Jane, everybody.
Jane.
We get so excited, and then we just end up talking about
all kinds of
stuff before we even remember to start talking about the book,
the actual book.
Okay. Well,
okay, so this is 7 Summer Weekends. I don't.
Wait, I can't.
What?
Can I hear you?
you can't hear me.
Oh, now I can. Okay.
I don't have my copy in front of me of On Fire Island, but this is sort of a sequel. So can we discuss both? Oh, there we go. Look at that. So beautiful together. Aren't these the most beautiful
covers? They're.
I didn't want to start with the cover, but like did you have any say in this? Because it's a beautiful
Can I just talk about this? There's a secret I have to tell just your people right now that I don't know why, but the hardcover, which is like magnificent, gorgeous gift for summer, is the same price as the paperback on Amazon. $16. I don't know why.
Wait,
No
serious?
way!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow,
it's gorgeous.
Look how the back is different. I like that one. Look, it's like
I know.
on paper.
I know. Wait, my dog Rosie is eating a very noisy toy. Rosie, say hello to everybody and stop eating that.
Amy is saying,
baby.
you don't have to read the first one to enjoy the
new
latest
puppy.
one. Is true. That is true. But I read them back to back.
Yeah.
Like that.
Which
that
one?
was like a kiss. Like,
I know. I had to wait a year, and I was so hoping, and then I saw that. I was like, "Yay! We're back on Fire Island."
It's great. Okay, so let's back it up
Okay.
and tell us the premise of the first one and then the second.
I took away her toy because it was squeaky. Whoa. Okay. I'm giving it back. I'm gonna go in another room. I'm so sorry, Rosie. You're ruining everything.
I have 2 dogs, and I left them at home. They usually decide to fight at my feet, or not fight, like wrestle and bark and roll around, and then the cat gets involved. So I get it.
I don't have dogs, but I keep hearing little preteen feet running through the house.
Door. Sitting on the Rosie.
Oh, are you on Fire Island right now?
Island. Do you want me to show you?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm at my house, which is really Ben's house in the book, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is my porch, but then I'm gonna walk you guys down the street. So you come out and I'll show you the beach, but I'll talk to you while I do it.
Oh,
so I can't believe
So
this is my favorite interview ever.
this is the baseball field. I hope the phone's gonna
Oh
still
my
work. Tell me if it goes out. Yes, this is the ball field.
Oh my god!
Oh my
there's
god!
the netting.
That
That's
is
the
so.
netting that
Oh
they
my
talk about.
god!
Yeah.
Oh my
This is
goodness.
amazing.
And this is Matt's house. Matt's house.
Oh,
I've never done this for anyone
my
before. Matt's house, ball field, Shep's house that he doesn't really stay in, and Ben's house, and then that's the beach.
Oh my god!
See the beach?
God. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, ask me questions while we walk.
Okay, so I was gonna. One of the questions was, "Is Fire Island as amazing as it is?" And apparently, we're getting the
grand
visual
tour.
answer that yes, it is this awesome.
It's
It's
really
so
special.
pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, now we're
Oh
starting.
no!
We're starting
No,
to
no, we're
lose
losing
you.
you.
I'll
Oh
go
no!
backwards.
No.
Well, that's
Okay, we're still here. There we go.
okay. I mean,
Oh my God.
obviously, I guess I can't go further. I don't know, but I have to
Oh.
stay near my internet.
That's okay.
Um,
we
Yeah,
Oh
I've
my
been here for 30 years. I
God.
met my husband.
You met your husband on Fire Island?
Yes, we were. There's a town next door, Ocean Beach, where you're not allowed to drink anything,
Okay.
like not even water. When we met on the beach, yeah, outside of the whatever, it's a strange rule. It's called the Town of No, and I just met him, and we went up first to get a Snapple at the market. He took a sip outside, got pulled in by the cop to the police station. I followed him in, and I said, "This is my boyfriend. He just got off the boat. I was explaining the rules to him, and when you arrested him." And they said, "All right, that's fair," and they let him go. We never left each other's side. We were engaged like 5.5 months later, and
My
10 years.
goodness.
Yeah, and 10 years after we met, it was on August 5th. We had a huge party at our house because we bought a house here like as soon as we could and before anything else,
Right.
And then and we invited the cop, and he came with his wife, and he got us 2 bottles of Snapple with handcuffs.
That
Attached.
is so
Oh
cute.
my God, I
Cutest
love
thing.
that.
It was
I
so cute.
love that. That is so cute. Oh my God. So Fire Island is legitimately like a magical place that we all need to go to if we want to find the loves of our life, which
I
I
think
have
I mean, I
already.
do,
So
but
I don't need that. But that is amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
that was one of the questions actually, because when I read the first one, I was like, this is the most magical place and I need to go there. And is it as amazing as it is in the books? And it is.
So the turkey sandwiches, that's real too?
Yeah, that's real. I'm gonna have one for lunch.
Oh, so
I'm a
jealous.
little jealous.
Like when my
So
kids
jealous.
come and I try and make a big thing, they're like, "Please, can we just get sandwiches?" Like, okay.
Is it from is the guy like are any of the characters real people?
So the funny thing is, the market, the Seaview Market. I'm really telling you guys everything, all my
I
secrets.
love it.
The Seaview Market is owned by this family called the Littles.
Okay.
Okay, by Wes and Lynn Little, and I changed it to Les and Winnie Biggs. So yeah,
That's amazing. So yes, they are real people.
That's amazing.
yeah.
Kirsten and I
That
are going
is
to
awesome.
show up on Fire Island one day.
I
We're gonna be
really
like,
want to
"Hey."
go. I mean, after reading this, because
The market owner, who's like, he's older now. I mean, he's probably close to 75, maybe. And he's a man, like kind of like the chef, like all those. And he came up to me last week and told me that he read the book on vacation and he cried and he loved it so much. All this, it was like my big, yeah,
oh, I love
That is
that.
so
yeah.
sweet.
He's,
I want to come to this
you
town.
know, so it was
Oh,
great.
Okay, should we, maybe people haven't read the books. Do you want to tell them a little bit?
we do this every time.
We do this all the time. There was fair warning. A little bit about Fire Island and then a little bit about this one.
The dog's back with
I
the
love
I
it.
love
toy.
it.
It's totally okay. Wait, does the dog look like this dog?
Yes. But guess what? I adopted the dog in October. I rescued her, and the cover was already done. And she looks exactly like the cover.
That is so funny.
I'm gonna have to take
Oh.
my husband on the beach sitting backwards with the dog next to us because it's
You
crazy.
do. You need this picture. You need to recreate it 100%.
Rosie, please stop. Okay,
Okay, so on Fire Island,
on Fire Island.
start with that
On
one.
Fire Island is the story of Julia Morse, who was a book editor, married to her amazing, like, author, very successful husband. When she's diagnosed, oh, I don't have to tell you that. Well, she's diagnosed with cancer and she dies, and it's all in the first chapter. And so don't think you're going to be like dealing with this for the whole book. She gets one summer to hang out on Fire Island after her death with her husband, you know, helping him get through it. And there we meet all the characters of On Fire Island.
Right.
And, yeah, am I saying, I'm not doing a great job.
No,
It's really.
She's a ghost and she's the narrator, but you don't actually interact with her.
And also,
So
a ghost, meaning like she doesn't, you know, move things, or there's nothing ghosty about it, right?
No.
Right.
She's just like,
she's just the narrator.
it's a very unique plot device to like tell the story, and you get her insider scoop as she's like touring us all through the island. And then you get to see like her compassion for her husband. And it's such a, I don't know, I think it's such a cool way to tell the story. I've never had a story told in that kind of narrative before, because
it's a true love story, really, when you think of it.
Yeah, but it's awesome.
Are going through any kind of grief, always come up to me and say, oh my God, your book helped me so much, which makes me so happy.
Right.
I think so, because everybody wants to think that someone is like loving them and looking after them and you know, making sure that they're happy and able to overcome after a tragedy. So
she's like with him by his side without being by his side. Like he can't like see her or anything. I'm not like
right.
But like she's there in spirit, and I feel like she helps him just by being there. I don't know. And he grows so much over the course of the book. And then we have 7 summer weekends where she's back. Well, she's not back. He's back. Ben's back.
Like that, I thought it was fun.
Loved it.
It was like full. You can totally read it without reading On Fire Island, but I feel like I was already half in love with Ben, and so to come back and see, like, you know, Addison doesn't know his backstory, and Addison doesn't know all these like prickly things, but as the reader, we're like, oh, come on, buddy, you can do it. You know, you're like cheerleading him on, and you're more in his corner, where otherwise, if you didn't have that, you might be like, who's this like jerk?
No. Honestly, people have been reading it the other way.
Really?
And loving it. Yes, they've been reading 7 summer weekends first, and then they've been going back and reading On Fire Island. And if you think about it that way, it's really fun, because you kind of, you know, different things about the future when you read On Fire Island.
Right.
And
yes.
A different. Yeah. Either way is fine. And guess what? Next summer. Yeah. Songs of Summer is coming out next summer. It's told through Beatrice Shep's daughter. It's told through her the daughter she gave away for adoption.
Oh my, okay. I'm like so happy.
I'm like ready to cry.
Oh my God, I'm a little clenched right now.
I really am like emotional. They feel like they're friends.
They are.
I really am crying. This has got to stop.
You guys are killing me. It's so funny.
Oh my God, I'm like emotional.
Because we're like,
I love Shep. He's like I was so glad that he came back. I'm so in bed. I want him to
if you
find
could
somebody.
see our notes, it was like, do you think we could convince her to write another book
Really?
on Fire Island? Like, is this going to be like a full series? Because
I didn't even
oh my God, I'm so
need
happy
to do it. It just kept happening.
You know what it reminds me of in some way? It's like Gilmore Girls-esque. Because it's like all the characters, you just like, they're all quirky, you just love them, and the town is just so like welcoming of everyone. It's very Stars Hollow, and I just think I'm so happy we get to go back.
I'm so happy.
magical.
I love what you did with Addison's story.
Mm.
And I love how she changes and learns so much about herself through all these people that come and visit her and stay with her. I just thought it was like so well done, and I saw like her develop and her change, and you're like rooting for her, and you're rooting for both of them, and it was just so emotionally.
It was so fulfilling. It was like it was almost like a movie. Like I could so vividly see it in the end, and you're like cheering for I just loved it, and I'm so glad we get to
This
go
would be
back to
such
it.
a good movie.
Yeah,
Has
is it in
anyone?
development?
Has
You know
anyone?
that I'm a screenwriter. Did you know that? I was a screenwriter first. So that's why my books always feel a little bit like a movie.
You were a
You
screenwriter
were?
first.
And I was
So
like
what kind of-
trained. That's the only classes I ever took was in screenwriting. So I
Wow.
think I write like, I'm not trying to, whatever. Some people don't like that. Some people want a lot more description. But I think I write cinematically.
You do.
Yes,
You
I
do.
I feel like I was seeing it
Mhm.
the entire time, which is how I love it.
Mhm.
I love to read a book that I can just like picture it as like the story in my head, and I can picture all the characters. So
Thank you.
that's why I want to see it on film.
Yeah.
I mean,
How do we do
I'm
that?
thinking, I'm so torn between, I already had a script for On Fire Island because I wrote it as a script first, believe it or
Oh,
not, without
wow.
Julia. Yeah. And then I wrote all the books that I wrote. I wrote 9 Women, One Dress, Eliza Starts a Rumor, 7 Summer Weekends, and A Shoe Story, all of that. I wrote, not 7 Summer Weekends, A Shoe Story. I wrote before I
On fire.
tackled On Fire Island because I was so attached to the story and the place, and I wanted to do it justice, and I hadn't written a book yet. So then my editor was like, dog's kissing my feet now to make up for everything. The editor was like, you really write for women. You kind of have to give a what's the woman's perspective. And I'm like, oh, I could write it from Julia. So I took my script and wrote like around it almost.
Wow.
God.
So my point is, I'm kind of torn between, writing it as a movie or taking these 3 books and having it as a series, because it could be a series.
Oh, a series. A series.
You guys,
Oh, a series.
A series. I agree.
Oh, that's multiple
100%.
seasons, and then we can go on.
And then we can go to all
have,
the characters.
yes, and
Yeah,
then we can do
yeah.
like
We vote
like
for that.
kids. Definitely.
Not to tell you how to do your job or anything, but it's what the people want.
Can we take a vote?
what the people want. That's all I want. Give the people.
It is. What
This
the people
would be
want.
an amazing series.
Oh my God,
it would be
it
so
would be.
good.
Like, think about. I mean, it's kind of a little bit like the Jenny Han book. Come on, it was just made on Amazon. Oh my God.
All the boys I've loved before.
No, the other one. The summer.
This
I turned pretty.
Turn pretty.
Right? You know how it's like
Or
you get
read
these characters and you get this amazing setting, and the setting
Right.
becomes part of the story, which is, I think, what makes Fire Island so special. Is Fire Island itself is like a character
It
in
is
the
a
story that
character.
we're like learning different layers in every book, that we learn a different town, somebody else's backstory.
Yeah.
We learn a different place. We learn all the different rules. And I think it would be an amazing series.
Thank you. Did you like the Bookstagrammers?
What books are great?
That visited Kelly and
Oh yeah, they were
Vicky and
hilarious.
Jesse
I didn't see that.
in 7 Summer
Oh,
Weekends.
in the book.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like real life. I was like, wait, who's visited Fire Island before I got to get to Fire Island? Because I want the invite. No, yes, I loved them in the book. And, well, that was one of my questions, but I guess you answered it. Because I was like, are you going to secretly tell us that your husband's the one that writes all your romances? Because I've never seen like a male
romance
character
writer.
who's a romance writer.
I know.
And
Right.
Ben was. So I was like, ooh.
No. What about like Nicholas Sparks?
Oh, I guess
I
it's
mean,
true.
I guess
Yeah.
that's true. There's a gopher in my backyard right there. Sorry. Since we're talking about animals. I guess that's true. I guess Nicholas Sparks.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like he writes his own books. I don't know, because he writes it too well. I guess that's the thing, is like, if a man writes from a woman's perspective and does a good job, you're like, it couldn't have been written by a man.
Yeah.
Because most men can't do it.
What made me do that? I just thought it was funny that he would go from sports writing to
Romance.
and then back to sports. Yeah.
I love though
too.
that he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I thought it just kind
How
of
about how
really
he
says
wrote-
who he is.
He wrote On Fire Island like within the
Yes,
book. That was
yes.
so cool. I was screaming when he was like, "Oh my, his best book is
Yes.
On Fire Island." I was like, "Ah!" I love a breadcrumb. I love a breadcrumb.
So when you wrote Fire Island and it did so well, is that when you decided, okay, this could be more than one book, or in the back of your mind was Fire Island always going to be more than
It
one
wasn't.
book?
It wasn't always going to be. It was really my editor. I said I want to write a book, Seven Summer Weekends, about a woman whose life gets upturned, and you know how the summer's like the space and time where you even though you're not a kid anymore, you still feel like different things could happen in the summer. Like
No, 100%, because our kids go away to camp.
Right.
So
Yeah,
we
so it
have
feels
that
like a
exactly
pause.
7. We have like seven
Exactly
summer
summer,
weekends.
yes,
Exactly
yes.
7 weekends.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think I agree, and I think it's such a unique thing. It's not like you don't be like, I'm going to change myself this way during the fall.
Right.
You know,
Right.
sometimes summer gives you like, I don't know. I always say I'm going to play so much tennis this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, you know, all these different that you put into those 7 weeks. So that's really how it came. And then she was like, "Oh, please set it on Fire Island and visit some of the, you know." I think everybody wanted to see more of Shep.
He's hilarious.
Yes.
I am very happy
I
that
can
he's getting. He's going to be, I'm assuming, in the book even more if it's about his daughter and
Yes.
granddaughter.
He's the most in the first book.
Okay.
The summer Songs of Summer is like a whole love story thing, a little more than the other two even.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But he's
I feel like I need to see him get like a little love connection.
I loved him so much in the first book. And I loved his character so much because I felt like he actually was like a man that was able to deal with grief because he had dealt with it, and not one that's like all the time, hey, like, you know, wanna go grab a drink without ever discussing anything. He was very open emotionally. And I love that you did that for a character, because I feel like often that's really missing in books with male characters.
It's often a woman is picking up the man as opposed to a man picking up a man.
Yeah, I felt like he knew the deal and he helped them along, you know.
He did. When they slept in the bed together, that was like,
oh yeah, and then the first one,
the cutest thing. That whole opening scene, that's so funny. when he like climbs into bed in the middle of the night leaving the shiva, and then he's like, ah, there's a person in the bed. Love it. I love it so much. Oh.
I very much like the person who we bought our house from, whose last name was Silver. He's passed away years ago. He would like come by, you know, he like got dementia at the end. He would come by and he would think that this was his house. And my husband would make him a drink and we'd sit here. You know, he was like very much like that. And then he'd walk him home to his house, which was right next door.
Aww.
People say to me, I've been here for 30 years. And they'll be like, oh, you live in the Silver house? And I would be like, wait, what? Like, how could you even still be calling it that after 30 years?
That's so funny. Are there really no numbers on the houses?
Some people have. I'm the dog. She's never barked like this before in her life.
She wants to be say hi.
She wants to be. James.
Go. Do whatever you need to do.
Oh my God.
Cute pupper.
Look how it's like literally.
Really?
Oh my,
dog.
she's so cute.
You manifested her.
What is she, a mini Bernie Doodle?
Yes, she's a rescue from a place called Pixies and Paws Rescue on Instagram.
Oh wow. She's adorable.
She's so
book
cute.
cover is on. I just messaged her. The dog. I want to get like dog people to do a book club. You know?
That's so cute.
Oh, that would be so cute.
Right?
Yes.
I know.
I'll join your book club.
Let me see your question.
Okay.
Oh, I have 2 dogs. I keep and a cat. I keep telling my husband that we need another dog. He's like, there's no room in our house for anything else that's alive.
Kids are in camp though. That's so exciting.
I know.
Yeah, they're gonna be going to camp. So
Is this their first summer?
no, I I have a 17-year-old who's
Oh.
home, and he's actually a counselor this
Yeah.
year. Today's his first day. He's at orientation, so this is very exciting for him. And then I have a 15-year-old and will be 12-year-olds, and it's their like 3rd and 6th year at camp. So
Come here, Rosie.
And mine are 13 and 11, and it's their 4th and 3rd summers, I think, at camp. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm ready.
I loved camp. I mean, it says on the first page how the girl is, you remember, she's color general.
Yeah, I mean,
color war.
it's a whole thing.
It's a big thing.
That's where I met my husband.
Really?
The camp that my kids.
Really?
Yeah.
The camp your kids
I was a counselor for one summer, and my husband had been going since he was 5 because his mom was a supervisor. He graduated from college. I was going into college, and it was like they convinced him to come back as the athletic director, and it was his, like, I don't know, 20th year or something. Not 20th, 15th year, and I rolled up.
It's called Camp Green Lane.
I've heard of Camp Green Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I went till I was so old, it was ridiculous.
I mean, I went to camp my entire life also. I went until I was like head of the waterfront. Like,
I mean, camp is a special place.
I mean,
It
there's
allows
nothing,
people to
there's
get
nothing like being color war general and standing in front of like,
Mhm.
100
So this was the thing, my
kids,
husband,
like worship you.
my husband was like the color war captain. And then when we first would start dating, like I went the one summer, so I didn't really understand. I wasn't there when he was there. And people used to come up to me and they would see that I was wearing something from Green Lane, and they'd be like, I said, oh, Corey Barris. And they'd be like, you know him? And I'm like, yeah, he's not that cool. But like people, like little kids, he's like a legend, would be like, no, Corey. And he comes to camp, and it's still.
and they're like,
they're like, oh my God, he's here. And I'm like, did I secretly marry a celebrity?
It's
like,
so funny.
I feel unworthy, but also what? Some weird camp thing.
Adina
like camp is
Menzel, you know Adina Menzel?
Yeah.
She was my camper. So
no way.
like random. I used to let her sing instead of clean up. Like she would sing Memories by Barbra Streisand, and the other kids would have to clean up at like 9 years old. So
Oh my God.
I went to see Rent all those years ago when she was in Rent, and I was in kind of near the front, and I was with my friend, and she's like, oh, you should say hello. So I like stepped into the aisle during the curtain call, and I waved, and she screamed and put her hands over her face because I was the celebrity, because I was her counselor. It was the
Isn't
funniest
that
thing.
so funny? Like, I don't know. It's like a weird time warp at camp. Like, it just is, it's magical. It's
That's
I
so
know.
crazy. And I bet you everyone in the audience was like, who is that?
I know.
Who is that?
It was, look, I'm hiding now in my daughter's room. From the dog.
So
This is the
we-
most embarrassing Zoom.
Earlier this month, we were interviewing Olivia. I mess her name up every
Mentor.
time. Mentor.
Yes.
Mentor. And she was telling us about the June 4th book release club, and that you started it. So can you like explain how you got the idea? Because I've never seen authors come together in such an awesome way.
And I
than
love
all
that
of
you guys
that
did that.
I know.
So I didn't start it. I don't know. Maybe Susie Schnall started it. I don't know, actually. But it's been amazing. We were on, did you see we were on Good Day New York? Annabelle Monaghan. It's myself, Annabelle Monaghan, Olivia Muenter,
Wasn't Julie Sadatow in it at one point?
Brooklia Foster,
Yeah.
Julie Stato, who just got on the New York Times list last week. And it became this like almost group therapy session because we have a little chat. And it's hard. You're really alone when you're an author. Right? And this was unbelievable because all of a sudden we found ourselves with this cheer team like of each other, you know. And it's been great. I've loved it.
It was really cool. And I know Olivia it came up in the context of her being like, it was her first ever novel.
I know.
And she felt like she had this like cheerleading
So
group
much
of support. And she like named up, she was like, Jane Rosen started it. And we were like, oh my God, we're talking to her later this week. This is awesome. I just thought it was really cool.
But I was into it. So was everyone else in the group. And I'm going to do an event with Olivia upstate in Poughkeepsie, I think on July 20th at Barnes & Noble.
Oh, fun.
It was really fun doing her. We did her debut, her launch.
You
party,
did?
And it was
We did.
In person. It was really fun. It was packed house. They sold out of the bookstore. They didn't have enough books, which is
Wow.
that's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
But it was really special to be part of her like special day. And it's funny how it's all going to be full circle because she brought you up in the interview. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Okay, while we're talking about publishing, and that is like, I think, a positive thing that has happened this summer. How has it been to be a Jewish writer promoting a book this summer?
Okay, it's funny you should ask because I just got this Jewish star.
Got mine on.
That like last week, whatever, it doesn't matter where or when, but and I felt like I felt weird. I felt like this was all that I was, which of course is not the truth, but it was definitely, it's been tough. Everything's, but it's been tough just to be a Jew, right? So yeah, I haven't had it as bad as some other people. I have gotten DMs saying that I kill babies, stuff like that.
Have you gotten, I don't know if we should name drop who told us this, but one of the people that we know said that the bookstores that she's planning to tour at, some of them
Have
are
been getting
letters,
like threats and stuff.
and saying like, you shouldn't be supporting this person. And the AMA, is that what it is? ABA? American Book Association, AMLA? Who is it? Heather was telling us this one. That they are kind of, their policy is it's up to the individual bookstores. They're not taking a stance one way or the other about Jewish authors being canceled, which I think is
You believe?
insane. I don't understand. I don't.
And also, like, some people are review bombing. I don't think it's happened to me yet. I do have a few ones with no name and I don't know who it could be because it's really just rare to get a 1 on Goodreads, right? You get a 4, you get a 3, you get usually they say something if they have. So I always wonder if, like, who are these people ones?
Right.
Why? And I had one for On Fire Island, which was before this all even started, but obviously this has been brewing forever and has never left the anti-Semitism. But I had one that said, like, says, you know, it starts out with, in the Hebrew language, the word for womb and tomb are one and the same. The whole thing about Zionist bullshit, she said. And I'm like, there's not one thing in this book about Israel whatsoever, you know?
Right.
It's just anti-Semitism.
It's just straight up anti-Semitism. Right. He was a language. So you're just pointing out how the language is being translated. There's nothing anti-Semitic about that at all.
Well, I think people like to use the fact I'm not anti-Jewish. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just anti-Israel as like a cover for just being hateful.
Horrible. Just being horrible.
It's really
sad.
And it's, you know, but I'm in this group called Artists Against Anti-Semitism, and we did a big auction, and we raised a lot of money. I don't remember. I think it was over $100,000.
Oh, good.
Dollars, right when it started, and that makes me feel good. At least I feel like I'm a part of something.
Right. And you found some support from other Jewish authors. I feel like I've seen Jewish authors coming together and like lifting each other up as they're getting to like summer release.
I tell you, a lot of Jewish storytellers.
Yeah, which is why, like, part of the reason, like, we want to promote as many Jewish authors as we can in any way that we can, which, I mean, doing this is super fun for us, but it's also a bonus that we can help in any way, like any of the Jewish authors, because
so much. It's just a hard time.
Yeah.
It's a hard, crazy
It feels
time.
like it's a hurdle that you could not have anticipated. I mean, these dates are set. I mean, when did you know this is coming out? Probably a year ago, right? That your date was set before anything happened. And to think that you're getting punished simply because you're Jewish, getting
but so
negativity. So
you haven't had too much backlash or?
I've had a few things, and I don't know if I've had more, and I don't know what's to come. It's definitely, you know, it's heartbreaking.
Right. It is.
Is there something that other people can do?
I don't really understand why people aren't doing anything. You know, I mean, Black Lives Matter, the whole Asian hate I mean, I protest, you know, in the city. It's not like it's such a big thing. I literally walk around the corner to City Hall and I just back everybody. Kills me. Any kind of racism. I just can't bear it. But I support. I see some support from some people and I really appreciate that support. You know, like I keep saying, when those little boys, remember when those little boys were in the cave or the what was
the soccer team.
Yeah, the world was waiting to see if they got out, and it's really kind of hurtful. No one cares the people that are still in there. It's peace, and grandmas, and
I think about those little babies every day. Oh,
It's heart wrenching.
And you put yourself in there as a mother, and you're like, of course you want anyone to go after. You want to get your baby back. Go get your baby back. I don't understand the world and the skew that people are, the lens that people are viewing this through is just bizarre.
I don't know. It's like so weird. Like 2020 happened with COVID, and then I feel like every year it's like, oh, it will get better. Like next year is going to be so much better because like what? And then it's like it's kind of like
no. I already said 2025. I just want the bar. I'll say the bar the same because I'm not even going to ask for better at this point. I just don't want worse. Please don't let it be worse.
No, it's going to get better. Everything's going to get better. Nothing's going to stay like this forever.
No,
it never does. It's all so.
Which is like creepy because my son is applying for universities now.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, okay, well, this is where you're not allowed to apply, right? You're not allowed to apply X, Y, and Z. You're not allowed to go to any of these places. And I'm hoping that by the time next year when he goes, that it's going to be like safe and enjoyable, and he'll be able to have his experience because he didn't get to have, you know, his middle school experience, and like the kids that, like some of the poor kids didn't have their high school graduation because of COVID, and they couldn't have their university graduation because of everything that's going on. So
my daughter was at Columbia this year, grad school.
Wow.
I mean, she was fine. She kept her head down and did her business. It wasn't undergrad. There's a big difference.
Right. Right. I think there is a big difference.
Yeah. You're just wanting to learn whatever it is you're learning. You're not there for the fun, you know?
Right.
So do you live in New York City outside of when you're at Fire Island, or do you do Fire Island year round?
No. Fire Island's not open year round.
It's not? What?
That's not true. It is, but I can't even remember how many families. It's very small, and most people would never
like want to live there.
Yeah. You have to have a car to live here, but you can't have a car unless you live here for a year. So there's a year where you don't have a car and there's no grocery store. Like there's this 1 year where you have to make do by like getting rides, and you know, when the ferry stops running because of the ice, it's a crazy thing. It's a really
that's wild. That's so crazy. So
I dream of, I never will.
So when do people come down? Are they only there for like 7-8 weeks?
Do you live there the whole time? Like what's the culture?
The water goes on in April and it gets turned off in November. So during COVID, I lived here for so long. It was really fun.
Ooh.
I lived here till November.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from like May. Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. And we played baseball 4 times a week because there was all these kids here, and they had, you know, like homes, they had Zoom school, right? And then when they'd get out of school and it was like 4:00, they would, what are you doing? There's nothing here. So we started playing baseball, and my husband and I kind of led it. It was so fun. And it was moms and kids and even some dads too. And for like Halloween, we all dressed up. We played like, you know, game and costume. I mean, we made the best out of it, but it was really, I hate to say COVID was a fun time, but that was a fun thing.
No, but you know what? It's all about making the most of those memories. And like my kids were all home with me, and we found something to do every day. Yep. And it was like, okay, this is going to be the last time I have all my kids with me for the whole summer.
Right.
It's not going to happen again.
Really?
Right.
Well, yeah, because one of them's home, two of them are at camp. Then like
He'll go to college.
he'll go to college, and then he'll come home. The other ones are at camp, and then by the time he graduates college, he'll probably have a job, and then my daughter will be home. So I was like, this is our last time. We're going to make the most of it. And we found like every trail to hike on within, an hour and a half drive. We found like every single outdoor thing that there was to do. And
we got the outdoor movie projector. We haven't pulled it out since 2020. But it was awesome. It was a great thing because neighborhood people would come and we would put the movie on for the kids and we would sit there and have like s'mores on the fire pit. And I a little bit do miss it. Like it was crazy and hectic and scary, but it also felt like simpler times. Like it took a minute.
Lose someone, which is like, insanely horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Simpler time. I mean, we would at the beginning, Warren, my husband and I we would get city bikes and ride around Manhattan, and the streets were empty. We would just ride straight through the streets. Like it was a crazy feeling, very apocalyptic.
Yeah.
And everybody would hang out their windows and sing and bang.
Right, remember that?
Oh, I remember all those TikToks.
Right.
It was crazy.
That was a crazy time.
So did you ever take up sculpting? Because
during COVID,
your descriptions of the sculpting were
phone calls. You're never gonna have me again. I didn't. I researched it a lot, and I went to like. I always do this when I throw myself into something, right? Like sculpting. And I thought about taking a class, but I'm so not talented. But I did go to like movies. I found a movie about sculpting that was actually playing in the theater, and I read about it and I researched it. And yeah, it kind of.
Well, it seemed like you knew what you were talking about because I learned some things about sculpting.
Yeah, I learned what I was talking about. It's very fun. I love it. I love that part of my job.
That's awesome because our family started watching the Great Pottery Throwdown.
What's that?
Yes, the TV.
I don't know that one.
It's like the Great British Baking Show, except for that it's building pottery, and they have them doing these like crazy things, and we became like obsessed. Like during COVID, we watched it all the time, so much so that my husband, for his birthday last year, we all took a pottery throwing class.
Did you really?
Yes.
That's fun.
I love that.
I haven't done that in a long time.
So it was so good. And then my daughter actually still takes it. So I was reading it. I was like, oh, this is I wonder if she
Took pottery.
does pottery like on the side.
There's just like they have nothing there on Fire Island, but there's a little pottery spot.
There's no pottery spot. My daughter was an art minor in college, so I also experienced a lot of like what that was like, seeing a lot of it too. So
what did you know, now that I'm thinking about 7 Summer Weekends and you're telling me about the third book, did you put those like little breadcrumbs in on purpose?
No. I mean, it's not the way you're supposed to do things. So don't try this at home, kids. You're supposed to play thing. But I didn't.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
I love that. I'm so
because I was like
excited.
I know I wanted to learn more about their family, and then she had their secrets, and then she knows the secret, and then I'm so impressed. I
mean, it was kind of easy. Think about it. For the third book, I went into what has not been answered.
Right.
So genius. It was just kind of obvious.
Well, it wasn't obvious to me. I wouldn't have thought to do it. So you're the writer. Now I'm the reader.
We hoped.
Is it written? Do you know? Is the whole...
Yeah. I'm just editing it.
Oh, wow.
Is there going to be a fourth one?
What?
Is there going to be a fourth?
Not right now. I don't think.
Okay.
Of course, life is long, so We'll see, maybe.
Are
But
Ben and Addie
not
in
immediately.
are Ben and Addie in the new one?
A little. Enough to give you satisfaction. Just
Okay.
where their lives go and stuff.
I love it. I want to know what happens with their houses. Like, I'm trying to figure, are they going to sell one eventually? Or can I buy it, do you think? Can I move to Fire Island?
All right. Well, okay.
Wait, I have to tell you something so funny, but I know we have to wrap up. But that when I started writing, when On Fire Island came out, people would go to the market and they'd ask, like from the mainland, where they could find me, and the market would call and be like, "Meet this one on the baseball field. They want your book signed." Isn't that cute?
That is so cute.
Yeah.
I love, so like, it really must be a small enough town that everyone knows where you live.
Yeah.
But do people just come and visit Fire Island for the day?
You can come for the day. It's not mostly people go to Ocean Beach, which is the town next door, for the day, because there's no restaurants. There's nothing in my town but the market, a liquor store, and a flower shop. But that part's all walking distance. So yeah, people come for the day. Day trippers.
Day trippers. I want to be a day tripper.
I was gonna say, I feel like there's a trip.
A day trip up here.
I
I really want that turkey sandwich. Every time I think about that turkey sandwich,
you two could have lunch with me for sure.
I would love to do that.
That would be amazing.
We can. Our kids are not.
Maybe
I know.
next summer we'll talk about songs of summer.
We can do
on the
it
beach.
in person.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a date.
We're doing it.
It's
happening.
it's a date.
Over, not here, but there's hotels.
Oh,
Great.
Right, because they're going to be there.
Good. You'll give
Yes,
us,
but there are. I would give you names and
you'll
stuff.
give us a good hotel. We'll come down.
I'm
Like
in.
sunny
I'm
day.
in. This
will
is
be
happening.
amazing. Okay, so
Awesome.
before we say goodbye, we'll just show everybody 7 summer weekends. And the first one on Fire Island, and
you don't have to read them in the.
and go out and get the hardcover because it's the same price on Amazon right now.
I know.
Or go to your local indie bookstore, and if they don't have it, tell them to.
Or listen to the audio because the audio is also great.
Yeah.
The audio was great.
Yeah,
But it's been in every.
the best.
It's been in every indie bookstore that I've been in.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like on the front.
Bookstores are loving it.
Yes, because I mean, I would have bought it based on the cover, and the inside is even more of a gem. So
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so much.
Thank you for today.
It was so
This
nice.
was a
Thank
blast.
you.
Thank you.
Sorry
Bye.
about the dog.
Oh, it's all good.
We love dogs.
Bye. Have a great summer.
You too.
Bye.